Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the best transformational podcast in the world. No, seriously. Okay. I'm Maria Mariano. I've been in personal development for over 40 years. Over 40 years. My first personal development book, I was 18 years old. Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world. And I don't know what I was expecting when I was reading that, Jean-Philippe Marie-Pierre. Like I was expecting how to learn to sell, and it wasn't at all that. But it was the massive lessons that I learned and that really got me hooked on personal development. That's where I learned rapidly. I could not achieve more in life. Now, obviously, what I'm saying it's for the audaciously ambitious. I'm audaciously ambitious, and it has nothing to do with money, although I love money. Let's get that right. But it really has to do always challenging myself to reach the next level. So this is what this podcast is about. So getting books, reading them with the experience, with the old and the experience of the new. That's you guys. Okay. And bringing it all together. And today, oh my gosh, the theory of Mel Robbins. You know what? I'm liking the book more as we advance. When we started the first 5 chapters, I thought it was a little bit, I'm going to use Maria's word, shallow, like, why so many pages to say so little? But now, last week and this week, Jean-Philippe Marie-Pierre, I don't know about you guys. Whoa, now we're in the deep. So today it's going to be about the right decision often feels wrong. And oh my God, how many people stop growing because they are unable to make that right decision for many, many reasons. And that's what you're going to discover today. So embrace yourselves. I need you to share this podcast with everybody you know that are people pleasers and only do things sometimes to please other people and never really make the right decision. Oh, maybe you should share it to yourself. There you go. Did you like that one? Pin it. Marie-Pierre, over to you.
Okay, so
I find
let's
myself
start.
funny.
Let's start to share. Is it me or her that she's frozen? She's okay. That's Maya on Maya's side. Okay, so let's start to share everywhere. So you have the text in the comment that you can copy paste. Oh yes, she removed the. No, she's okay. I don't know. There's something with the internet in Montreal.
Am I okay?
Yeah, but there's
Am
a
I okay
little
or I get on my
delay.
phone?
Put your phone.
Okay, go. I'm gonna.
Okay, so when you share, you have the text in the comment that you can copy
I freeze
paste.
again.
That you can copy paste it so people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. But if you have someone in mind that really needs to hear this, yes, share it directly with that person. So you will see that when you click on the arrow, you can share by messenger, by text message to that one person that you really want them to listen to the podcast. And then we have our contest, Limiana Jama. So first, when you go on our Facebook group, Limiana de Jama Inspirational Group, every time you post, every time that you comment, every time that you react, you gain point during the month to be in the top 10 contributor of the group. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 will get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires de Diamants. And tomorrow, we're going to announce our top 10 for the month of May. And then we're going to have a draw also that tomorrow we're going to announce for the month of May. But you can already participate in the month of June. So every time that you go on the boutique Les Millionnaires de Diamants, when you place your order, you take a picture, you receive your order, you take a picture, and you post on social media and you tag and you tag Les Millionnaires de Diamants to be in the draw. And then same thing with the books Les Millionnaires de Diamants. I think you're good, Maya. Yeah. Okay, so with the books Les Millionnaires de Diamants, so you see what of the book, you take a picture and you post on social media and you tag Les Millionnaires de Diamants. And again, when you read one of the book, you take a picture and again you post and you tag Les Millionnaires de Diamants. No, you're still frozen. I don't know what's going on with you. I'm your side now.
I
That's
put
gonna
on
be
my
exciting for us.
phone. Why is it not working?
I don't know. Doo-doo-doo.
Ah,
Okay. So again, make sure
am I
that
still
you go on
frozen?
your post and you tag Les Millionnaires de Maria. can be in the draw at the end of the month. And last thing, if you don't already have your ticket for the conference, it's time to go and get your ticket. And if you want to be in the studio with us, send me a message so I can add you to the list of people in the studio. Okay, so now, Jean-Philippe, if you can talk for a few seconds, I will play with her computer to find out what's going on.
Well, actually, I think I can start. I can do my part because it's a theory, and then Maria can come back right after me, right?
That's good. We're gonna do
Okay,
that.
so I'll start while you're figuring out what is happening right now with Maria's computer. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So I'm gonna do already like the theoretical part of the section that we are covering today. So we are going to ask ourselves, why does the right decision, the one you know deep down is the right one, okay? Why it always feels so terrifying to make? So why do we stay in a relationship that could have been dead for years, okay? Why do you stay in a job that is destroying you, okay? Or your personality or who you are? Okay, we will see that scientifically, okay, your brain is not wired to do what's right. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort. So today I'm going to explain why the right decision always feels wrong based on the let them theory. So there is four elements. The first one, okay, it's about to understand that your brain treats social rejection as a mortal danger. Okay, why? Because we have evolved in group since like millennium. Okay, for hundred and thousand of years, being excluded from the tribe mean death. No protection, no food, no survival. Tiger outside. Remember, okay, that we are referring to very often. Okay, so your brain hasn't changed since that time. So today, when you imagine disappointment in someone, your parents, your fiance, your friends, okay, your amygdala, that little reptilian part in your brain, sounds the alarm as if your life was in danger, exactly as from the caveman. Okay, it says, don't disappoint them. Don't upset them. Don't rock the boat. Stay in the group. Safety is belonging. So your brain screams danger every time you imagine a hard conversation. So the rational part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, says you know what to do. But the emotional part, the amygdala, shouts, you're going to hurt them. And the amygdala is always stronger. So in this conflict, the amygdala, as I said, will always win because it's the oldest, fastest, and strongest part in your brain. So the decision feels wrong, not because it's wrong, but because your brain is wired to feel social discomfort above all. Second element, people pleasing is not kindness, it's self protection. Okay, so most people think that when they say yes, they will avoid a difficult conversation and put off a painful decision because, oh, I'm nice to people. But what they don't know is that they are hurting themselves. Okay, science tells a very different story. So when you avoid disappointment, okay, disappointing someone, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. You want to avoid that wave of discomfort that you can feel. So Mel Robbins say it clearly, okay, in this chapter, you're not avoiding confrontation, you're avoiding someone else's emotion that you don't want to face. And this is a trap, okay, because avoidance brings short-term relief and you don't have to face the pain today, but it will reinforce the fear long term and harder the pain will be in the future. So the more you avoid, the more the fear grow, the longer you stay, the harder it becomes to leave right after. So this is why people stay in that relationship for years. This is why people stay in jobs that are destroying them, not because they don't know that they should leave, but because their brain has learned to stay in a safer place. Third element, the emotional waves always passes. So remember, this is what I've covered last week, okay? Remember, emotion are a chemical burst in your brain. It rises, it peaks in your entire body. And if you don't feed it with stories and interpretation, it will fail. But it takes 90 seconds, okay? And this is a difficult decision because when you have like to cancel a wedding, quit a job, or end a relationship, you have that huge wave of emotion, sadness, anger, relief, guilt, okay? Those emotions rise. But if you don't let them fall and you connect them, unfortunately, you won't be able to take the right decision. So here's the metaphor that Mel Robbins has used. Learning emotional discomfort is like learning to surf. Some days your life is calm and steady. Other days, a hurricane hits and you feel like you're drowning, but you will not drown, okay? So here it's to learn how you can ride that wave, which means how you can understand that you have that burst of chemical and emotion throughout your body, but how can you ride it, okay, and say, I need to let that happen and it's going to pass. So after that 90 seconds, I get connected back to my prefrontal cortex and I can take the right decision. And finally, the last way, okay, that you can make better decision is by changing the question you're asking yourself. So instead of asking, how do I avoid discomfort? You should ask, what is true in that situation? Okay, so here what is happening is you're moving your focus from emotion to facts. Okay, the shift, okay, tells us really that if I'm asking what is true in that relationship, what is true in my job, what is true, okay, in my life, you will really focus on the fact. Okay, it's true that I don't like it anymore. It's true that I'm not well because of this fact and this reason, because of my colleagues, because of the environment, because of the work. I'm no longer like excited by it. So you need to find the truth in those situations. So the solution, okay, is really the let them and let me theory in two steps. So let them, let other feel the way that they feel. Let them be angry with my decision. Let them be devastated by my decision. Let them be disappointed. Okay. Let me serve. Okay. So then you can say, yes, let me serve those emotions. Let me be honest with myself. Let me do the hard thing. Okay. Painful now because it's the right thing to do. Okay. So the right, as Mel Robbins says, okay, your job and responsibility is to live your life in a way that is aligned with your value and a way that makes you happy. Sometimes that's going to hurt someone, but you need to ride that wave, okay, and really do the hard stuff right now. So what we've learned today, the right decision feel wrong because your brain treats social rejection as a mortal danger. People pleasing is not kindness, it's self protection. And the emotional waves will always pass and always get back to the right question. Remember, the better the question is, the better the answer will be. So instead of asking yourself, what is wrong in this or how can I avoid discomfort, ask yourself, what is true in that situation right now. So now we will get back to Maria because she's going to connect all of what I just covered with like her own stories.
Is it good? I'm not
Yeah.
frozen. Okay, we're in. We're in. So let me begin by saying good morning, everybody. I made it. I'm Maria Mariano, in case I froze before. And I want to say good morning to Jennifer, that is with us, brand new director, Jacqueline, who always keeps me on my toes with the latest news, Martin Noel, phenomenal supporter of the Millionaire of the Diamonds. We have Megan with us this morning. Thank you for being here. I'm looking for Sherry. Is Sherry here? Olga's here. Yes, Olga is here. Good morning there, Sherry. I took it backwards today, you see? And I'm looking for James. Do you guys see James? Do we see James? If not, please put him on a milk carton. We are looking for James. James. And now I know what they're saying. They're saying, Maria, it's not the podcast. I'm looking for James. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. Is he there? I don't see it. Okay, this is just who I am. Always watching who's here, who isn't here. So welcome once again. Oh, I know what happened. Because you shut me down, Marie-Pierre. Ah, so James has to be there. Melanie Beauchamp has to be there. Anyways, I don't see you in my chat. So the right decision often feels wrong. And as I listen to this chapter, because I read it with audio, I realized something. Oh my God. I could have given a podcast for 2.5 hours today, literally. Okay. This chapter is not about weddings because they're going to talk about a wedding scenario in there where he knew that she wasn't the one, for whatever reasons, and how many people still get married. So that resonated with me. It's not about careers. It's not about relationship. It's about the truth. So if you're leaning in and writing notes, it's about whether you are willing to face the truth when the truth is uncomfortable. That is definitely one sentence I would write down, okay? Because most people don't struggle with knowing what to do. This is not what they're struggling with. Most people struggle with doing what they already know they should do. So let me explain to you rapidly. Mel opens the chapter with a man who's about to get married. The invitations have been sent, the deposit has been made. The families are excited on both sides. Everything is ready. But the closer he gets to the wedding, the more he dreads that wedding. Deep down, he knows this is not the woman. This is not the woman for whatever reason. He just knows. And as I listen to this chapter, I immediately thought of my own cousin here in Montreal years ago. He was in his late 30s, early 40s. He met this beautiful, intelligent woman. She was successful, educated, chartered accountant, background in law too. She came from a respected family. You know, when you say she checked all the boxes, right? She checked all the boxes. On paper, everything looked perfect. The wedding was planned, the invitations were sent, mega Italian wedding. The hall was booked. Thank God it was his hall. You'll understand in a few moments. The families were excited. Everything looked wonderful from the outside. This is why I always train in my sales force. Don't be impressed by what shines. Not all that shines is gold. But deep down, everybody knew. Like there was this little back noise chatter that there was something wrong, especially him. My cousin knew it. He knew it. Then something happened. The wedding was canceled. And honestly, oh, by the way, it was canceled like a week before. Everybody was getting calls, right? And honestly, that should have been the end of the story, but it wasn't. To save face, they redid the wedding. And guess what happened? Because they feared what people would have said. They feared of losing face. They feared da 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 da. The marriage happened, the wedding happened, and eventually the divorce happened too. 6 months later. 6 months later. And do I need to tell you how costly this divorce was? So when I look at all of this, and he did all of this because he didn't want to disappoint his mother. He didn't want to disappoint his father. He didn't want to lose face in the eyes of, the Italian community. Was it really worth it? Why was he afraid of judgment? Why was he afraid of rejection, afraid of criticism, afraid of disappointing? Because I'll tell you something, today he's with somebody, and guess what? He's not even married. Well, at least he learned. He got it the first time. So the thing that's really important here to understand is you got to speak your mind. You got to speak your mind, and you got to do what you got to do. I'm going to do a reel later on because there's a huge difference between sometimes the right decisions means staying and sometimes the right decision means leaving. The real question is, are you making the decision based on the truth, or are you making the decision based on fear? Now, I don't want any of us to think I just go all in and blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. I'm very, once, twice, three times, but then I draw that line in the sand. Enough is enough. I would not be where I am today in my marriage with my circle of friends, my influence, if I didn't make those dreaded decisions. And one of the things I always like to circle back to, especially you guys that went to university, can you imagine if you based your choice to go to university, whether or not your best friends would have went? Can you imagine? Wouldn't that be immature? Wouldn't that be totally immature? Of course it would be. You know, as a mother, if my son would tell me I'm not going to university because Michael and Mark aren't going to university, I would say, hey, we're not in first grade here. Well, how many of us still behave immaturely like that? We don't want to disappoint. We hang out with people we've hanged out all our life, but you've outgrown them. You have outgrown them. What are you still doing there? You're afraid. You are afraid. So, number one, I got 3 points. Number one, be mature. The ability to face reality exactly as it is, not as you wish it was, not as you hope it will become, but as it is. Number two, integrity. The willingness to act on what you know, not what is convenient, not what is popular, on what is true. And number three, courage. It's going to require courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is not the absence of anxiety. You're just telling them, put on your seatbelt, anxiety, fear. I'm going to do it anyways. It's the willingness to move forward, even when your knees are shaking, even when people disagree, even when people will be disappointed, even if people won't understand you, because they may not understand today, but one day they probably will. And if they don't, who cares? I've got my life. Can I tell you, Jean-Philippe, Marie-Pierre, how I love this chapter? You have no idea, my friends. You have no idea. So now we're going to do the social mirror. Where do you stand here? Haha. So Marie-Pierre, over to you.
Yes, thank you. So we continue with the quiz for today because we know most of us already know that answer, that decision. The problem is not confusion. The problem is courage because many people already know that conversation that you need to have, that boundary that you need to set, that habit that you need to stop, the opportunity that you need to take. But the challenge is that the right decision, again, comes with the uncomfortable emotion, fear, guilt, disappointment, conflict, and judgment. And because those emotions feel so uncomfortable, we convince ourselves that we need more time, more information, more certainty. But sometimes we just need courage. So today we're gonna do with the quiz. It's to see when difficult decisions show up in your life, who takes control, your value or your fear. So the goal here is not to answer the perfect answer, but to answer honestly what you would do in those situations because it's gonna help you to after that be aware and develop to go with your value and not your fear next time. So let's start with the first question. Again, this morning it's A, B, or C that you can answer. So question number one, you know you need to have a difficult conversation, maybe with your spouse, your family member, or an employee or a friend. So do you A, avoid it and hope that it fixes itself? B, you rehearse it over and over in your head? Or C, you have that conversation respectfully and directly? Question number two, you are unhappy in a situation that you've outgrown, maybe your job, a commitment, a volunteer role. So, what do? A, you stay because change feels scary. B, you think about leaving often. Or C, you begin creating a transition plan. Question number three, how many times you keep telling yourself, oh, one day I will do that. One day, one day, one day. A, often. B, sometimes. Or C, rarely, I take action quickly. Question number four. You have a family member that criticizes a choice that you've made. So what happened next? A, I immediately question myself. B, I become emotionally upset for a while. Or C, I listen respectfully but stay connected to my truth. And question number five. You realize that you've made a mistake. So what do? A, you defend it. B, you delay correcting it. Or C, you face it quickly and adjust. So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, or mostly C's? So if you have mostly A, you are the people pleaser. So your heart is beautiful. You care deeply about people, but somewhere along the way, you may have started prioritizing everyone else's comfort above your own truth. So you often know the answer, but that fear of disappointing other keeps you stuck. So you want to learn to that disappointing someone is not the same as hurting someone. So sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is to tell the truth. So ask yourself, so where are you abandoning yourself to keep other people comfortable? Now, if you have mostly B, you are the hesitator. So you are aware, you see the truth, you often know what needs to happen, but you spend too much time standing between the whole life and the new one. So thinking, analyzing, waiting. So the challenge is not that awareness, but the challenge is action. So you do not need that certainty to move forward. You only need enough courage for the next step. So the question that you can ask yourself is what decision that you already made in your head that you keep postponing in real life. And if you have mostly C, now you are the courageous decision maker. So you understand that the goal is not comfort, that the goal is alignment. So you make your decision based on your value, not fear. And that doesn't mean that the decisions are easy, but it means that you are willing to feel discomfort in order to live with integrity. So you understand that that temporary discomfort often create that lasting peace. So again, the question you can ask yourself here is how can you continue leading with courage and helping other people to do the same. So, three daily practice that you can do to build that courageous decision making. Number one, notice the emotion. So, when you're stuck, identify the emotion. So, is it guilt? Is it fear? Is it rejection? Is it embarrassment, conflict? So, name it because when you can name it, it becomes something easier to manage. So, first, notice the emotion when you are stuck. Number two, practice small act of courage daily. So say no when you mean no, or speak up when you have something to say, ask a question, make that phone call. So courage will grow through repetition. And number three, remember the cost of waiting. So every difficult decision has a price, but avoiding the decision usually costs more. So ask yourself, what will this cost me if I wait another year? So because that temporary comfort often create that long-term regret, and long-term regret is far heavier than that short-term discomfort to have that discussion. So again, ask yourself, are you choosing that temporary comfort or you want that lasting peace? So you will decide what you want to do with that and take action when it's time to do it because you know what is the right decision to do. So on that, we wish you a beautiful day and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye everyone.